Hello, and welcome to another episode. Today we are your hosts. I am Sean Calhoun, and this is my lovely wife,
Christina Calhoun.
Christina. And today, what we're going to be talking about is how to deal with a indecisive client. How to deal with an indecisive client. So, it's a subject. It's kind of a touchy one.
And it comes up a lot. A
And
lot
it,
of times they don't know what they want.
Right. Have you dealt with that? So if you have, we're gonna go over that today and give you some tips, some pro tips on how you can deal with that. And then we got a few other things that we're gonna go over with you too to help you and your business as well. Um, One thing, we can get to this real quick too. If you wanted to reach out to us, if you are an agent or if you are a client, it's really easy to get in touch with us. Our handle is Sean Christina Calhoun on Facebook or Instagram. And so you can just send us a message, a private message, and that's probably the easiest way to get to us. Or you can go to prettyhm.com. That's PRETTYHM, like home, prettyhm.com. And you can search for houses, read our bios and all of that good stuff. All right. Okay. So let's get into it. Indecisive. Okay. So if you haven't run into this yet, you will at some time. I have family members that I love, and we could go to a restaurant and they're gonna say, "Hey, what are you gonna order?" And they'll order whatever I order, But if you let them go first, they're gonna say, "Oh, come back around, come back to me." Like they're indecisive by nature, so they may be indecisive that way. And then there are some people who are not indecisive by neighbor. You might have a dude that's a boss or a lady boss, right? They make decisions, they're knocking down things, but then when it comes to the house, you're like, man, they seem indecisive. So let's give a quick example of that. So to protect the innocent, we're gonna change names and all kind of stuff. All right. So this is a real example, but we network with different agents locally around the country. One particular agent yesterday they came to us with a nice issue, and so they had a client, and this particular client of theirs, he has looked at homes. They have seen quite a few homes. As a matter of fact, they had offers in on homes and things like that. And then they just decided to wait and they're back, right? And that's exciting. I mean, when a client comes back, you kind of feel good. You did something good, right?
Mm-hmm.
For them to come back to you. So the client came back and they're looking at homes and you might notice something. So let's just say he said something like, you know what? I want to buy my forever home and I want it to be a ranch. I don't want to deal with steps.
Something I can age in.
Something I can age in. And I want this, and I want that, and I want that. Now, I'm giving you some really specific things that I want. These are, the things that I really want in a property.
So at first glance, you're like, "Oh, good. They are decisive. They know what they want."
Right. And so as an agent, you go in, you start searching for those things. You send them to them in email and you say, hey, let's go see them. And they go see them and they go, eh.
Or they're like, "No, this is nice, but I want to go see 5 more houses."
Yeah, I want to see 5 more houses.
And it's like, well, this checks all your boxes.
Or you might ask them, like, does this check all your boxes, right? So, has this happened to you? If you're not in here yet, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, it's happened to us too. So let's go right into it. how do you deal with something like that? Well, it comes down to two main things. And here's something that I have to commend uh, the real estate uh, community as agents, something that I think we do very well, and you probably do this well too, is when you talk to your client, you'll make sure that they're pre-approved. That's called qualifying.
Mhm.
So you qualify them financially very well. You ask them, hey, have you been pre-approved? Are you buying cash? And or are you getting a gift? Do you have a gift letter? You qualify, pretty good.
Or are you selling a house to buy a house?
Right, right. Those are qualifying questions, and I think as an industry and overall, especially that's done pretty well, and you to be commended. So that's half of the qualifying.
Mhm.
Now the second half is just as important to qualify them financially, is to qualify them motivation. They're qualify their motivation. What do we mean by that? Well, there's a question that sometimes we forget to ask. In an ideal situation, when would you like to be moved by? And you can't just leave it open. I mean, you could, but who knows what you'll get, right? Give people choices. Do you need to be moved in 30 days? Do you need to be moved in 60 days? Or do you need to be moved in 90 days? Now that's going to help you determine that question. Write that down. Pause it, rewind. It's pretty simple. It's going to help you determine their motivation. And see, once you know their ideal timeline, you have a good understanding. If a person is 90 plus days out and you're showing them homes, they're just going to look at a lot of homes. They're not really ready. They're not motivated. So if you do that, which is okay, you need to have the expectations and understand that they're not trying to buy a house right now.
And it's not to say that you can't show them houses to help them figure out the area that they want or the style of home that they want. That's not what we're saying here. We're just helping you to minimize the amount of time that you're spending so that the people that need to move in the next 45 days are kind of prioritized over the people that might be 90 days out that you've already shown homes to that might just want to go tour some houses.
Right. And so what can you do? Because the last thing you ever want to do is hold someone back who wants to see homes. They are interested. They're just not motivated to make an offer,
Right.
to become an owner right now. And probably for a good reason. They might have a lease that they're in for a couple more months. Like there are normally some really good reasons. So
But it's also, it causes frustration because
if you
show
don't
them,
know it,
yeah,
if you don't know,
and if you show them the perfect place and they don't make a move on it,
they're frustrated too.
yeah, because then when they are ready, they're like, they've got that other house in mind, like, oh, that other one was so perfect, but
It's gone.
it's gone.
Yeah. So that's talking about seasoning and them being seasoned, right? So how do we get them there? What do we do? So again, we ask the motivating questions, and if they're in the 90 plus, what you want to do is you want to help them to start learning the neighborhoods. So tell them, listen, I don't mind showing you a couple homes so you can see the different styles. So you might want to have them pick out a home or two, and you pick out a home or two, and you show them the different styles of homes, okay? But just know that they have no intention of purchasing right now. Then the other thing is you want to tell them to give them a couple different cities. I want you to drive by these homes and I want you to look at the neighbors and I want you to look at the neighborhood and see if you like these areas. Because these are hopefully areas that you're working in, you're driving in, so you know the areas, but they're the ones that's going to live there. And so you both want to be familiar with it and you can let them know. So now they're getting their craving, satisfied. They're driving by homes. You show them a few homes. You're sprinkling in, showing them a few homes, so that they can see, what's out there. And then as they're getting closer, you can dial that in. Okay. But then sometimes you have people, I'll give you one quick example. So I was working with a teacher and it was the beginning of the summer. School had just let out and um, I showed her a couple homes and I asked her the questions, and she was like, you know what? Hey, I want to see, the homes. I'm kind of ready to buy. So, it's like, wow, when, 30, oh, I'm ready to buy now. So we took a look and I found, I mean, it just happened to be at that time, there were some homes that hit all the marks. So I showed her the homes. I was like, how do you like this? She's like, oh, I love it. I love it. I love everything about this house. Okay, I want to see another one. I was like, okay, well, all right, that's fine. She likes the first house I saw. I'm like, well, that's understandable. Showed her another one. It was great. Showed her another one. It was beautiful. I mean, we just happened to have three great homes. She also thought that every home was going to be that great.
Right.
So anyway, those
That
homes,
became her expectation.
they went pretty quick. They were gone. So I showed her some more homes. They weren't as nice because they just happened to not be as nice as those. And I showed her six homes, and I'm like, man. So I had to ask her the question again. I was like, hey, you know, and then this is another question that I asked too. Please write this down. I have paid money to get this question, and you're getting it on Facebook Live. You're getting it on YouTube or wherever you're watching this. This is the question. I I had to ask her before we went out again. I said, hey, so and so, if I show you a home today and you like it, would you put an offer in on it? Because you pre-qualified, you said you want to move and you love to own a home in the next 30 days. If we saw the perfect home today, would you put an offer in on it? I said, oh, and before you answer that, if I show you a home and it's not just right for you, I am happy to find and show you other homes, negotiate for you, go up to bat, make sure it's right, take you all the way through to accomplish your goal and, show you other homes. But if it is right, if it hits all the marks, would you put in an offer? And she said, well, I don't know. See, I'm a teacher. I really love homes. And I just want to see as many homes as I can because I have all summer off.
That's not what we're here for.
Right. She needed to get a real estate license
and show herself all the houses she wants.
because we have to earn a living too, right? Like it's two sides of the coin. Mm-hmm. She wasn't actually ready to buy in 30 days. She was qualified financially, but she wasn't motivated. She wasn't motivated. So those are a couple motivating questions you can ask and then you can determine. So for her, it wasn't a good fit. And I let her know that. I didn't actually go out and show her more homes. I said, listen, I am actually in the business of helping people accomplish their real estate goals. And, I don't mind helping you do that. However, I do have other clients that would like to go out as well, and they're looking to buy, kind of what Christina was saying. We have clients that are a little bit closer to buying. So I'm probably going to show them and get them on schedule this week. And, we can probably get you on schedule. There's a couple houses you want to drive by, and I don't mind showing you some, but blah, blah, blah. And so she understood, and I actually ended up referring her to another agent. And she did end up getting a home, but I didn't have the time to just burn like that. So that's going to help you from not having to show a bunch of homes and not make money all summer. You could have missed four other clients that were looking to actually
that were more
become
motivated.
home owners. You could help them accomplish their dreams as well and help her, or sometimes it just may not be a good fit. So these are some things that you have to really, truly consider. And then back to the showing a person what they say they want to see and it doesn't seem like it. Well, sometimes, and Christina knows, we've done this before. A person will say, I want a ranch. I want a ranch. And we show them a ranch and they go, right. So what do you do? You have to show them. Here's another question that you can ask. This is a great question. What kind of home did you grow up in? A lot of times people grew up in a certain type of home. I had a client say, I grew up in an apartment building. And I just feel comfortable with a lot of people around me. I just don't like, I thought I wanted a ranch, but I just don't, I don't know. I don't like creepy basements, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? A condo was much better, even though they were saying that. So that's a good question. Another person, they said they grew up in a colonial, even though they wanted a ranch. So you can ask that question. Here's something else that you can do. You can also show them a variety of different homes, even though they say if they don't like what they say they like, show them some different homes and look at them.
Yeah, check their reaction, their body language.
Look at their body language, their reaction. Are they walking through the house real fast, trying to get out of there? Are they taking their time and going, wow? Or are they walking through, look at their face?
And the key is if they start decorating in their mind.
Yeah. If they start saying, oh, this doesn't fit, I'm going to have to get a new blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. You can tell they really love the home, right? So you can feel good. Man, I've done something well. So it's not about, you shouldn't be looking so much at the house like, hey, this is the living room and this is the kitchen. No, it's not about that. It's about that person. Look at them. How do you feel about this space? Is this large enough? Are you getting new furniture? Are you bringing your current furniture? You bringing the old stuff, right? So it's about them,
right?
As much as it is about the house, it's about them. So that's going to help. That's going to really help you to see. So again, remember, just to boil it all down, qualify financially, but also qualify the motivation, okay? And then ask the right questions. If you ask better questions, you're going to get better answers, all right? So those are going to help you. Those things are going to help you to really help a person that seems undecisive. Now, here's one more thing. A lot of times they'll ask you, or sometimes, like if they really like the home, they're going to say, what's the next step? Or how do we do this? Or blah, blah, blah. Some people say that. Some people ask you, what do you think? What do you think? Now, there's a lot of schools of thought on this, on what you could say. Okay, so there's no right or wrong answer coming from me. But something that we have noticed that works very well is I don't really like telling people what to do. I'm not a pushy salesperson. And I get kind of irritated sometimes when people are super pushy, Well, you should get this because that's what you said you wanted. Well, I know what I said. I can change my mind. Maybe, So,
And they're the ones that have to live there. So it's not about what we think either.
right, right. So, what do you do when people ask that question? Well, what would you do? Or now, if they ask me what would I do, that's a different question. I can tell you what I would do. But if they ask what they should do, the good thing to do is to go back and ask some of those consulting questions that you asked. And it's things that are important to them. And you ask them questions to see if this home matches up to what is important to them, to what is the most, what is valuable to them. Is it the school district? Is it a space for their grandchildren? What is important to them and does it match up? And, the other thing, do not be afraid. So many agents are afraid to tell the truth. If the house is bogus, just say it. Yeah, okay, is it going to spoil a sale? Possibly. More than likely, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to trust you. And what's better than that? What's better than having integrity? You're going to get referrals, whether they get that property or not. They're going to trust you. And they'll probably get that or another property that's right for them. And they're going to give you some referrals. So just be honest. If there's if there's a big flaw, let them know. You don't have to tell them what to do. You shouldn't buy this house because of it. No, I wouldn't go there. How would you present something like that if it's a flaw? Let's say it was a beautiful home and it had no AC. How would you present that? Something like that.
Especially if it was like a deal breaker for them, you could let them know what the options are. Do you have anybody that you know that is in this business?
I don't have anybody in the business that could do this.
Well, then we can give you some referrals of people that we've worked with and our clients were really happy with and didn't take advantage of them. I remember one time we had a client and the house needed a new roof. And I thought, oh, it's over. They're not going to get it because it needs a new roof. And they did get it because they're like, oh, my brother does roofs. This will be no problem. It won't even charge me a quarter of what it would be if they went to another company. So do they have somebody that can take care of it at a reasonable price? They might not be afraid of it at all.
Right. So what we may see as a deal breaker may not be for them. Mm-hmm. So we want to just ask them. And it turned out that was a great asset for that person because of that. Mm-hmm. Whereas most people, a roof might have been a deal breaker. So those are good. Those are good. Now there was one other point that I think you were saying that we should talk about today. Did you want to hit that one today?
No, I think we'll catch that on the next episode.
Okay. All right. Well, we hope that we brought you some value, whether you are in real estate or not in real estate. These are some things to think about. Really, it'll help you to make a good decision. And that's really what it's all about, is making a good decision. Work with agents that are trained, that are knowledgeable and that can really help you and help you make a good one. All right.
Thanks for watching today.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you, and we will see you on the next episode.
Next Wednesday, 1:00.
That's right.